big game this past weekend had FSU come out on top over Clemson in overtime as FSU gets the final touchdown after a missed field goal by Clemson. So let's recap that game. Jordan, I'll go to you first, man. What was your initial thoughts on the game?
All right. So what I said last week was I felt like this was a changing of the guards game. This had been Clemson's ACC for the last 7 years, seven straight ACC titles, if I remember right. I don't know if I'm ready to quite say that because Florida State did not dominate this game. Clemson probably should have won it, if I'm being honest with you. But credit Florida State. They made the plays when Clemson didn't. I thought that Jordan Travis played well enough to get the job done. I don't think he played great, but obviously well enough. Clemson, man, 0-2 in the ACC. I don't remember the last time that's happened. They're now looking. They're obviously on the outside looking in when it comes to ACC championship picture, with conference losses to both Duke and Florida State, who are both 2-0 in the ACC, if I remember right. So essentially, you're 3 games back of them, which means that both Duke and Florida State have to lose 3 conference games, which I don't see that happening. So this was a monumental game for Clemson, to say the least, because of the loss that you already had to Duke in week one. Jake?
Yeah, this was obviously a monumental game for FSU. It completely diminishes Clemson's playoff chances, I believe. Jordan Travis played well. We were talking about Jordan Travis. We were talking about I think Will Shipley played well on the Clemson side. Klubnik on the Clemson side. The Clemson freshman kicker, senior kicker, I believe actually is. He just couldn't get it done at the end, and Florida State came out with the W. Evan, what are your initial thoughts on it, man?
So here's the result, and then I'll give you my feelings. So the result is Jake is correct when he says this has officially eliminated Clemson from playoff contention. They will not be in the playoffs this year. And FSU got the win they needed to. I think, Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, this is their first win against Clemson in 9 years. Probably since the Jameis Winston days. That makes sense, right?
2013, I believe it was the last time Florida State beat Clemson, if I remember right.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah,
You
the
would know,
Jameis Winston game. Yeah.
okay, you would know more than I would. So that's the facts. But my feelings on it, I don't know about you guys, and I'm curious to see if I throw this back around afterwards. I was not super impressed by FSU. They got the win. This game to me, I don't know what Jake was talking about. What he said Will Shipley did good. I think the running games on both sides got stopped. They would get stopped at the line of scrimmage over and over. So it came down to the quarterbacks. It came down to Cade Klubnik, and it came down to Jordan Travis. Jake's right when he says Jordan Travis was the better quarterback, but Cade Klubnik played a good game. He's just not as good as Jordan Travis. That's just a fact. And then so there was that aspect to it. But FSU didn't really pull away. And credit to Clemson a little bit. People are saying they're not even a top 25 roster. Get out of here. Clemson's probably a top 10 roster still. Their defense is still good. They're still solid all around. But again, they did lose the game. But my point is with FSU, if you think that, that week one, you saw them blow out LSU, yes, that was a great win. But last week at Boston College, and then this past week against Clemson, they got the wins, and that's what matters the most. You're not eliminating yourself by winning. You're not moving down in the rankings by winning. But at the same point, it's not looking as strong as I thought it was going to be. So for sure, a win by FSU, but a strong win. No, I think the ACC is still very much up for grabs, including your Hurricanes, Jake. But yeah, I'll throw it around again, I guess. What did you guys think in terms of the strength of FSU? Do you guys disagree with me?
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks from Florida State, they've obviously not been to what we think FSU would, and I agree with what you said at the end. The ACC is still up for grabs, especially my Hurricanes, after beating Texas A&M and starting out the season 4-0. Heading
Hey, this
into
is
Georgia
this is
Tech.
like some of the only time I can ever give the Hurricanes credit. So you better be taking it, but because it's well
Yeah, I am
deserved.
taking
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Hey, I'm taking it. I'm taking it, man.
awesome. Yes.
Especially heading into Georgia Tech in a couple of weeks, and then I believe going to Tallahassee to take on the Seminoles. That game will be a great game, so we're definitely looking forward to that one. Jordan Travis, definitely the better quarterback in this game. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Jordan, I'll throw it back over to you, man.
All right. First, I just want to ask Evan a hypothetical question here. I know that he said Clemson is officially eliminated. but I just want to know what he thinks about this. What if Clemson goes 10-2, avenges that loss to Florida State in the ACC title game, and let's say LSU goes 11-1, wins the SEC? What do you think would happen?
We both said Clemson's firstly eliminated from this conference. I think if they still go 10-2, LSU goes 11-1. I don't think there's a chance that you put Clemson in the playoffs.
No, so let me answer the question for Jordan and let me lay it all out there because Jake, I agree with Jake, but let me just go a little more in depth with it. So yes, for sure they'll take an 11-1 and 2 losses. If you're not in the SEC or maybe the Big Ten sometimes, but not even the Big Ten. If you're not in the SEC, you're not getting it with 2 losses. Has a 2-loss team actually got in ever? I know they have talked about that. Has that just happened? No, I don't think so. So there's also that working against you. But hypothetically, let's just say Clemson does win the ACC, which is still very possible. I was going to mention that at the end too. So they win the ACC, but you look around. The Pac-12 might beat each other up, but the way the Pac-12 is looking, you're going to think they're going to at least get 1 team. The Big Ten is going to get 1 team. The SEC is going to get 1 team. So at that point, yes, you think you probably do put in that LSU. But good question. I'm sure some of our viewers were thinking about that too. But yeah, I mean, the ACC, let's not get this twisted. So Clemson's eliminated from the playoff. That's what I care about. I don't follow ACC football that close. But in terms of Clemson fans, they care about the ACC. They want to win the conference. So you look around, of course, Jake mentioned Miami. FSU is the favorite, but they look vulnerable. And then, of course, you got Duke, who's undefeated, I do believe. I'm not for sure on that. You have some strong teams at the top. The bottom is really bad. So you can beat up on them. But the top is still favors FSU, but is by no means decided.
Yeah, and one quick point on Duke. Actually, they play Notre Dame this weekend, so that is a huge game to test Duke, I guess, legitimacy outside of the Clemson game. Maybe that game was a fluke, maybe it wasn't, but we'll find out for sure on Saturday.
For sure.